helps out, like if you're going to use stories from the book. And so I did use some of how it was, but I was like, I guess I'm making it harder. Not really harder because I'm doing my own book, but if I was going to do the stories in there, it's pretty much laid out for them. I mean, just part of it, like it's kind of a guide of what to do in each story. But I was really looking at it, I was like, them kids probably like, what is this?
I put a DVD on, I mean, not a DVD, but like a flavor, that goes to the book, and they really follow along with that.
Yeah.
As opposed to just
Right.
reading or them reading.
Yeah.
They follow.
Was that better that way?
They can answer the questions I gave them and stuff.
Okay, see, cause yeah, I did that before. That book has a CD to it. Yeah, a lot of the novel books have. So, yeah.
All right, thank y'all. No, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It's good to talk and discuss and everything. Okay, this is Social Studies Alive, differentiating the social studies curriculum. I'm Andrina Renee Goodwin, and I'm here from Morgan School because I am the somewhat like social studies consultant, teacher of record for some classes and everything. And I'm really here to help you out and just do some of the legwork because it does take a lot of planning sometimes. And throughout the week I'm here and be like, okay, I want to do the activity, you know, but I don't have time to put it together. I'm here, you know, to help you do that, give you some ideas and everything because that's what I do all day. This 13 years of teaching social studies, and I love teaching social studies. I like to make it, you know, like come alive. This came about because of the teacher work conditions survey. Last year, the teachers took the survey, and question 8.2, letter C, says, in which of the following areas, if any, do you need professional development to teach your students more effectively? And it was only asked to teachers. And 65% of the Morgan school teachers said they would like to have more professional development on differentiating instruction. And it actually goes along with almost everybody. Charlotte Mecklenburg County says 63%, and also North Carolina says 60%. So it's obviously a need that most teachers want. So I'm glad to be here to help y'all out with social studies. Okay. Why should we differentiate? It's because we have all different types of kids. And being here at Morgan School, I really learned that. So I'm glad to be here to help y'all today. And one size does not fit all. Differentiation provides students with access to all curriculum and different activities and ways to express themselves because, you know, if they can't read very well, maybe they do know the information, but taking a written test is not going to do it all the time because, you know, they know it. So we can actually look at assessments in different ways as well. Okay, what is it to differentiate? A teacher's response to a learner's needs, the recognition of students' varying background knowledge and preferences. And that's what I was saying, different background knowledge. A lot of kids know, they know, but they can't, you know, give it to us the way that we're asking it to be given it to them, okay? Instruction that appeals to students' differences. Because I know kids who draw very well, they like to do activities that I'm going to show you today, and they really get engaged. And the ones who don't know how to draw, at least they know the information, they'll pair up with someone who can be more artistic and everything. But we'll keep moving on here. All strategies are aligned with instructional goals and objectives. Nothing I'm going to show you today is out the box, something ridiculous that doesn't go along with your curriculum. Everything I'm showing you that you can actually build it into your curriculum so you can have some fun. We were talking earlier, it's like, man, I feel like I'm working real hard. I told her, I don't work hard. I don't work hard because they work hard. I work hard with preparation, but I really don't talk that long because it's driving me nuts to sit up here and talk right now. All right, specific strategies are selected based on the focus of the instruction and the focus of your differentiation. Like, what is it that you want to teach, and what can I do to make some things different than regular just sit, listen, and do some questions? All right, so let's talk about some differentiation practices right now. All right, we know Bloom's taxonomy.
The social studies training will be in this world-class classroom.
Evaluation is the highest of the Bloom's taxonomy. If students can make decisions, support their views, and requires that they understand, that means they have reached the highest level of thinking. The basic stuff about knowledge, we don't want to take them there because that's just reading the book, answering the questions, finding it, and everything. We want them to be able to apply it, analyze, and synthesize, and most of all, evaluate. And some of the activities that we're going to do today will take us all the way up the Bloom's taxonomy hierarchy. Okay? All right, teaching with pictures. that you said, oh, no problem, come on in. There's some chips and juice and sandwich back there if you're hungry, okay? Teaching with pictures. Now, I don't know what time of day you teach social studies. I know in the afternoon. Okay, that's a rough time to teach social studies. That's a very rough time to teach social studies. Teaching with pictures, when the kids come in, teaching with pictures is great because it only requires them to look. Like this right now, this is higher level, like U.S. history right now. But this is just an example. Like this is one of the images that's on the EOC for civics and economics in U.S. history. And you just want them to look. You give them an index card, and you tell them to write all the things down that they see. What do you think this picture is about? So I don't know who has a pen or not, but just for the sake of it, what do you see in this picture? What do you think this picture is about? Give them 5 minutes to be silent and just look. It doesn't really require them to have studied for you to talk much. You just say, look at this picture, and what do you think it means? Higher level thinking skills. You're asking them to evaluate. They're going to look deep. They're going to see N-E, N-Y. It's like maybe they don't know what R is. They know N-Y means New York because they've seen it on people's shirts and things like that. They know that's a snake. It says join or die. Well, you may see that's in different pieces, right? So actually what this means is this was a symbol for the 13 colonies. They were advertising this: if we don't join together, Great Britain's going to crush us. We need to revolt against the Great Britain and have the American Revolution. That's what that was about. Now, let's think about this here. Let's turn off the light. Don't know how, but it's okay. I don't know if you can see this very well, but this series of pictures I'm going to show you are pictures of families around the world. They asked these people to take everything out of their house and display it outside so everyone can see it. By looking at this picture, can you determine things about this family? Can you determine things about this country? This is in China. What do you think is their most valued possession? What do you think?
The TV.
The TV. It's sitting right there. They actually took it there on the boat. I mean, they think that TV is very important. Can you tell the family structure? You can see different ages of people. Maybe they don't just have mom and dad. Maybe they have an extended family. Look at the geography of where these people live. You can take one picture and you can have a whole discussion and get the kids talking about what they see just in a picture. Okay? This is a family in India. This family in India, what do you think is their most valued possession here?
Their food, cooking utensils.
Okay.
Pictures of.
Yes, and obviously this is a religious symbol of Hinduism. Very important because the man is holding it high for everyone to see it. You can look at the family structure here. So pictures is a good way to get your class started. They're quiet, they're looking, they may start talking, they want to yell it out or something like that, but if you get them trained up to discuss and write down, and then we'll share, you know, maybe it'll work that way. You know your students the best, but looking at pictures sometimes can bring out some great information, and you can elaborate your lesson on this as well. Okay? Okay, this is in Tokyo, Japan. Now, compared to the other ones, do you think they may have a higher economic standard than the other ones? You look at this family, because all these families are in Asia, because that's one of your areas, right? Asia. So that's why I actually picked these pictures. All these people are from Asia. Can you see the difference of lifestyle in between these groups of people? Again, the TV is very important. You know, the houses are small. They have all this stuff, but just a small family compared to some of the other ones. You can just go on and on and on and talk about this. Okay, the next one, you can actually put pictures of events like CNN and Google and stuff. They have pictures of historical events and current events, and you have them look at these pictures and say, what event is this? This looks like a hurricane, because I know that you have to talk about natural disasters and things like that, and people It's not even a boat. I don't even know what that is. It's like a piece of board.
Is that like Hurricane Katrina?
Yes, it's Hurricane Katrina, and this is a lady in the dome. They didn't have much blankets and stuff, so they were using anything and everything that they could to keep warm and to be comfortable. So therefore, they have a flag to keep her warm. Hi, Miss Purdue. There's some chips and sub and drinks back there.
Okay. Did you just start at 12?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I was making a promise that I was going to stick to my time frame. And I moved it to 12
Yes,
o'clock just for you.
Who else coming?
There was another young lady who came in.
She's coming right back.
Okay, all right. So, Ms. Purdue, I was just showing them how you can start off class just with simple pictures. Just get them to think. What do they see? What do you think is going on in this picture? What is the family like? What is the geography like? You can get them looking at pictures at the beginning of class or at the end of class, wherever you see fit to get them thinking. All right, another thing that we like to do is what you call categorizing. Categorizing is one of the other higher thinking skills as well. Where did you get that light at?
Oh, behind the wall.
Oh, okay. Okay, categorizing is one of the things that you can use to make sure students understand what's going on. Now, kids like to draw, they like to be busy. You remember when you said, I work hard, I'm always talking. I saw all that roll of paper. I wish I had that because I would have a ball every day at work. Okay, Ms. Purdue, this is for you.
Okay.
Okay, because I know you're going to start talking about the 3 branches of government. Now, you can do this in advance. You can make your own shell for them in advance. You can draw it on the board. If they can copy it themselves and make their own poster, they can do that. Okay? Or you can do it in advance and have enough for each student or pair them up, however you want it. And what I was explaining before you came in is that some of this stuff does take preparation work. It really does. And that's what I'm here for on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. If you want to do stuff like this and you need a class set made, I can start putting this together and have it ready for you. Because social studies can be boring, okay? It can very much be boring. So let's say you've talked about the 3 branches of government. Let's say you haven't talked about the 3 branches of government. Let's say that you've given them the reading assignment or you gave them some notes or something like that. They can start categorizing what or who makes up the executive branch. Who and what does the legislative branch do? And also the same thing for a judicial branch. But let's say in advance, you just want to see their knowledge, okay? What I'm going to do is ask 2 of you to cut out. And the kids will actually do this. This keeps them busy, keeps them thinking. Okay. You will just cut out the rectangle there. And then as a group together, after it's cut out, y'all will come up here and try to see if you can put those in the right spaces. Just, let me see. Yeah, just 2. Yeah, because once it gets cut out, the kids have their paper, they come together, and they try to place them in the right spot. And you just stand there and say, well, no, that one's in the wrong spot. And they talk to each other, and they try to figure out. It's just a simple manipulative. You can do it with a small sheet of paper. You can do it with large butcher paper. Some of them like to draw. Maybe they want to make it themselves. Maybe you will require them to make it themselves. But as you see, it will keeps them engaged, it keeps them thinking, and it makes it a little bit more exciting, especially after they come back from, electives and everything. They get a little tired. This will get their juices pumping to be able to do something
And with the
hands-on.
large butcher paper, see, you can put that up so you got an end product that they can look at all
Yes,
the
and
time.
they'll see their work. And even, you know what, I don't even take it down sometimes. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. When they take tests and everything, if it's up there, it's up there.
Yeah.
I don't care. If you can see it from your seat, good for you. It doesn't really matter to me, okay? It really doesn't matter. So I'll let you do that. Now here's another one. I made a smaller one that's a little different. I wanted to know who and what. They would give me the 3 branches of government, who's involved, like the executive branches, the president, the vice president, and what do they do. So you can do something like that. And they can draw it themselves, they can color it, you can You can paste them up on the wall. You know, so they'll have a very good time doing social studies. And I'm guaranteeing you that they will remember it a little bit better. Now, let's see. While they're still cutting this out, I'm going to show you this one. This is I just did this last week. I have this already made up. The students cut it out in class. They make their own 3 columns. I'm not expecting you to really do this, but they have the words, and they put them in the right category. They had to make this part. I gave them the sheet. It's not in order, just random. And they cut them out, and they put them in the right spot. And I told them, I said, you have 1 time for me to check it. 1 time. So if they think that, hey, you got it together, I'll go up to their desk and I'll say, that's not the right spot. That was not the right spot. And they'll do it again 1 time before they turn it in, and they'll paste it with, I don't know how to do it. So it's a manipulative, and it's easy for you to check. And also, you can be able to get to every student.
And it's hands-on.
And it's hands-on. Okay. So you want to see it? All right. So, y'all ready? Okay, so let's get up just like the kids would do. And let's have a nice little debate here of what would go where. So we have executive branch, legislative branch, and judicial branch. These are the 3 branches of government. So you will put the description in the right category. So President Barack Obama, where do you think he would go? Executive branch. Okay? And as a teacher, I'm just going to sit here, I'm just going to watch and see or not watch, and maybe if I can just send an email real quick, and they're like, we're ready, we're ready, we're ready.
Oversees the court system of the United States.
Yes.
Judges.
Commander-in-chief. Executive. Yep. Their decisions are final.
Yeah,
great.
If you take, so they can always take Sam.
Chief leader of the United States. That's executive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Senate. That's
Legislative.
House of Representatives.
Legislative.
Okay, see, that was pretty cool. You know, it took us a short amount of time to do it because we're adults. We're gonna get straight to the point. They're going, you know, I need to sharpen my pencil. I don't like this color of scissors or something like that, and it'll take them a little bit longer, and they really will think about it. We're adults. We know this information. We watch the news. But you can have them do more. I pretty much prepared this early in advance, making this chart. They can make it themselves. It just depends. Y'all know the level of your students. If they can't handle making this, it'll take too long or whatever, let me know. Or you can do it yourself in advance. I can do something like that in advance, okay? For you, okay? So, let's move on. Categorizing. Pretty much I just showed you some of the examples of categorizing. Just create a category sheet with headings and allow the students to cut out the words and everything. Once you do this 1 time, that's it. You really don't have to do it anymore. Because if you keep yourself organized, I keep a lot of things in these folders, and I know that this is goal 1, a board game. It took me about an hour to make it, but I don't have to make it anymore. It has some timeline events, and I have Ziploc bags that I get from Classroom Central, and I cut the words out, and they themselves by themselves or just with a partner, they can try to put the event with on the timeline. And again, you just check and make sure that they have it right. And then, you know, when you're walking around, they start asking you questions. I don't understand why it doesn't go in that spot. And then you have the opportunity to, you know, really see who knows what really quickly. So you can take a look at that. You can pass it on.
So are you doing this after you already presented the information?
Yes.
Or is it after learning it?
As they're learning, it could be a beginning activity, to see what they know, and then they learn and pay attention in class, and they go back to see if they can finally do it right again. We can use it for review for a test, we can do it as a warm-up, we can do it as a closing activity after I've taught them for a little bit. If I talk about those events on the timeline right there, I may talk for about 10 minutes. And then I'm gonna expect them to have paid attention so they can do the activity. If they get it wrong, that's okay, because we're just gonna keep doing it till you get it right. So it kind of breaks up the monotony of just straight talking.
Right. So,
I talk a little bit, I do an activity. I talk a little bit, do the activity.
Yeah.
That's how I do it.
okay, and then like, so are you, I guess my biggest thing is, are you reading the book with them? Or are you, or
A
am
lot
I
of times-
supposed to pull out stuff and then present it with like what's important and then like that?
Right.
Instead of
Okay.
us just sitting there reading.
I don't use a textbook a whole lot.
Okay,
I don't use I make a lot of PowerPoints.
okay.
A lot. I have a picture, a description with it, and I'm telling a story. She's seen me, I usually just mostly everything I do has a PowerPoint to it.
Okay.
If they need to write down certain things, even their notes. I may have some notes typed out, but I'll leave blanks. So I know that they're paying attention. For example, if I'm talking about how a bill becomes a law, they will have a sheet about how a bill becomes a law. And as I am clicking the slide, there's certain things and words that they have to fill in the blank. They don't have to do a whole lot of writing, but they need to pay attention enough to know that, okay, step 2, she said, oh, okay, I need to write down step 2 because step 2 is not on my paper. So they'll pay attention and they'll also write
So
down.
you're doing like guided notes?
Guided notes, pretty much. And I really don't talk that long. I do a little bit, I teach things in small chunks and then give them an activity to do. Small chunks.
Because that's where I struggle, because we're reading, and they're bored, and I'm bored.
Yes.
Yeah, I get.
And I'm just learning that social studies in the 6th grade, so I was just like, well,
Yeah.
we need to find something else.
Yeah. And also, even with that right there, if they have their textbook or something like that, they can do that along with their textbook. It's not that same mundane reading. Like, I'm reading, okay, what the heck did I just read? I don't remember nothing I just read. I'm an adult and I don't remember everything.
Yeah.
A memo comes in my box, I'm like, what'd she say? Let me read this one more time. You get what I'm saying? So even with an activity like that, you can do it along with their reading assignment because it gives them something to read for. It gives them a purpose. I teach my students at the SQ through our reading method, and I'll do that another day. You turn all the subtitles into a question. And when they read, they have to answer the question because now they have a purpose to read.
Yeah.
They have a purpose to read. I mean, you tell a kid to read that page, they're a good kid, they'll read it, they'll be honest, okay, I'm gonna read, I'm gonna be good, I'm gonna read it. They don't have any knowledge after they read it. Because now once they have a question, they have a reason to read because they want to answer their own question. Reading and interpreting newspapers, sometimes you want the kids to be able to read real life situations. You may see a short article in a newspaper somewhere that they may be interested in, even like Jet Magazine, because their articles are very small, very short. Sometimes you may see something in the blog area of the Charlotte Observer, anything like that. USA Today, their articles are very short. I'm trying to get up a scheme to get these hotels in this area because they give out those USA Todays. I'm going to see if any of them, give me their old ones and things like that. And I'll share them with you because those articles are very short and they're in color. And they like them. But it's too expensive for us to have our own class set. So I'm going to see if I can get like maybe a couple day-old sets from some of these hotels like on the weekend or something like that. But you give students a copy of a newspaper or magazine article. Let's see where I can find it. You don't have to do this. This is just an example thing to have.
Will you share the PowerPoint after? Will you share the PowerPoint?
Oh yes, I'm going to email it to you. I just have 3. But this outline is in your packet. Okay? You give students a copy of a newspaper or magazine article. Students are to use highlighters to highlight in the article who, what, where. You give them a highlighter. You probably need to give them 2 different colors. because who, what, where. You want them to know those things that happen in an article. They're not writing anything yet. All they do is just highlight who, what, where. You didn't ask them to do much yet, okay? And then students, you know, are to highlight terms that they don't know. They can use the other color to highlight words that they don't know. So you're able to walk around and say, oh, you don't know that word? I can explain it to you. Because someone may not even ask. If they're reading it and they're like, I don't know who this is, I don't know what that is, they can just highlight it real quick for you. All right? And students will fill in the current event sheet. The current event sheet is pretty simple. Thought I had it on. They have the title on the top, who, what, when, where, and then their own personal reflection. Again, that's taking them to a higher level thinking. They're synthesizing, they're analyzing, they're evaluating, because when they evaluate, they're giving you their own personal opinion. How does this affect my life? Where have I seen this at? Oh my goodness, I didn't even know about this. I'm glad I learned about this. Now I can tell my mom. You know, you're taking them to a whole nother level with this. Making them more civically aware as well. Okay? Life-size historical figure. Students will use their research and knowledge to create a life-size historical figure. There's some people in history that you want them to know about. You may give them simple information, like a biography of that person. You want to know where they were from, why they're important in history, and so forth. And you know what? Maybe these kids aren't going to write a paper. Your kids are not going to write a paper. Okay? They may not write a paper, but they may convert it into something like this. They may take the information that they researched about that person, want to draw the person. They may find a picture of their face. I've seen kids do that and put it on the head, cut it out, and put it on here. But these kids here, they had to describe the role of the President of the United States as the chief executive. But I've done this in various ways. I've done it as a biography of a person. They drew the person. They have fun because they have a partner. One person has to lay down. You lay one person down and the other person traces them. And this takes a couple days. In my class, I'd let them have, for the whole week, the last 15 to 20 minutes of class to work on this every day. And they look forward to doing it because they get to work with someone, they get to talk, they get to color and all that kind of stuff, put the information together and make it look really good because it's their individual assignment. And so usually during class, I'm like, hey guys, we didn't get through so-and-so yet. I guess y'all never gonna get to the, your life-size Barack Obama. They're like, oh gosh, you gotta hurry up because I gotta get so-and-so on there. We gotta get the glitter on there so it'll dry right. I mean, so you're giving them something to look forward to at the end. It's not writing a paper. They want to look up the information because they want their stuff to be right. And everything I do, I give them pretty much a checklist. Whatever I want on there, I'm like, well, before you turn it in, you need to check it. Do you have so-and-so? Do you have a title? Oh, I left the title. Well, I said, well, if you want to get 100 on this, I guess you better put that title on there. Because I gave you a checklist. So, this is a life-size historical figure. Foldables. I love foldables. Foldables. I make all kind of foldables, all kind of ways. In your folder, in your packet there, you have a little information about Japan. And simply, because I picked some of this stuff because I know you covered these countries. So let's say you are covering Japan. You want them to know the geography, the capital, type of government they have, population. This is cute. They like to do it. They wanted to make it look good. And I actually made this one because I couldn't find my example. So I mean, I put a lot of effort in this, layering it up and stuff. They may not do it. If you don't have all the materials, all they have to do is just fold their paper in, cut it. The information is on the outside, the title, and then they write the information on the inside. I'll tell you right now, you don't have to talk much with this right here. Because if you look inside of the packet, I gave you all the information they need to know about Japan. I gave you like the population sheet. If you give them that sheet, get them started with this, they're going to be ready to go. They're going to be ready to go. So that's all it took me to do for this activity, was to give them a little sheet about Japan, the facts about Japan, give them the paper, scissors and markers.
When they study, how do they maintain that?
Okay, a lot of, for studying purposes, they put this like in a, yeah, they put it in a notebook. A lot of times I have them, just glue it in there. Yeah, I display it for a while, and then they'll eventually put it back in there. Yeah. And at least for my classes, as, a lot of times, the information is in their notes. A lot of times they're using the information from their notes that I gave them on PowerPoint to make these type of things. Like in class, I gave them notes on how to become a citizen. Her class did this. She has them outside her room. How to become a citizen. They took notes on this. So they have the notes already. So I technically really don't need to give them this back because they have the notes. So some things they already have the notes for. And you know, most of the time for tests, I give them a study guide. And these can stay on the wall. But pretty much, they can become a citizen by birth and by naturalization. I want them to know the difference. So I gave them some guided questions, and they put it on the inside, and they made it look real good. And they were happy with it. They're very happy with it. Okay. Interview. Students love to talk. Interview a person from Spain. Again, that same information like I gave you about Japan, even in your textbook. Interview someone from Spain. Ask them questions. Like they'll ask a question on their paper. Where is Spain? Spain is in Europe, surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean, the Mediterranean Sea. If you pair two students up and tell them that you're going to be the person from Spain and you're going to be the interviewer, they're writing the questions and they have to answer their own questions to have an interview. They both have to have a copy of it, and they get up in the front of the classroom and they get to act it out. Oh man, the silliest kids are going to have the greatest time. The most serious, the serious kids, they may struggle with it, but they're going to do it so they can get their grade. But they have a good time laughing. Sometimes, my name is Pimp C from Spain, and so they make it interesting. It gives them a little personality. I don't care as long as you're able to have that information. You can present it without the cursing, anything like that, and do it the right way, but you can have fun with it. Some kids, really get into it. They really do. Some of them, I've seen them act like they were on a talk show. I'm Oprah. And, or Tyra Banks. One girl, Tyra Banks have a big forehead, so she did like this. They just really made everyone laugh, but they were learning at the same time. Kids love to talk. This gives them a reason to talk for the right reason. Okay. Let's see. African Geography Handbook. Again, you see I made a lot of these things I knew. I didn't know what this grade was. But you can use some of these same things. This is, in your packet, there's a rubric for this. A geography vocabulary book. When you're teaching vocabulary words, key terms, or even just anything in general, pictures will help students remember key terms. When they're taking the test, they're like, man, I remember I drew so-and-so. Yeah, I remember now. Okay, because pictures will help them trigger their memory. Because a lot of kids can remember things that they see. They, how some people don't forget a face, but I can't remember your name. Some kids are like that as well. So the instructions were to take your key terms, like Lake Victoria is a lake in Africa. They had a cover page. They have Lake Victoria. They drew a picture of it, and then they have a description of Lake Victoria. Africa's largest lake, located in eastern Africa, the world's second largest freshwater lake. Then they go on to the next term, the Sahara. I see that in this school, y'all have a lot of these computers. Do y'all have those in y'all's room too? Mm-hmm. This is great for y'all because they can go get clip art, because this is a clip art picture, this is a clip art picture to enhance it. This came off the computer. So they're able to pull pictures, design these the way that they want to as well. I would definitely, use those. Even with that Japan thing. Let's say you didn't give them the sheet. You want them to go on the internet and find information about Japan. Have them do it, because that's great. I can't wait till mine come. I got the little laptop grant thing last year, but my stuff ain't come to my room yet. So it's a great opportunity to make social studies come alive by making little things like this as well. You got a question?
No.
Oh.
I'm fidgeting.
Okay. Presentation bags. You can do this in literature. I think I might have stole this from an English teacher. I'm telling you, I'm lazy sometimes. I didn't want to read a whole bunch of papers, but I wanted them to read their book. So they had a book report. It was called Book Bag Project. They had to read the book, write a summary on the back, put how many items I told them to put in the bag that represented things from the story. They had to put like the characters of the story on the side. Like if you talk like the word plot and climax or something, they may have to put that on the side of the bag. But for this purpose right here, this is about the executive branch for government, civics and economics. So on the back I told them, I think I have the rubric as well. As head of the executive branch of our federal government, the president holds blah, 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 blah. They had a summary of the executive branch on the back. They had to decorate the front. They put their name on it. So the items inside their bag. This symbol right here is President Obama, because he is the chief executive of our country. He makes up the executive branch. The president makes up the executive branch, and I have this pencil in here because he signs bills and laws to make them the laws. See, the kids have to learn that to put these symbols in here. I have this fighter plane in here because he's the commander-in-chief of our country. I have a quarter in here to represent money because he is the chief executive of our finances for our country. And you can have them have a lot of stuff, 4 things, 5 things, 10 things, but they're going to take time, they're going to try to be creative for things to be representative of the topic. This gives me a chance to stand in front of class and talk, because one of the 21st century skills is that students would need the chance to be able to present and talk and communicate. And this gives them a way to communicate. You know that they know what they're talking about, and it's better than writing a paper. It's better than you reading papers all the time. You can turn this around and use it in a lot of classes. Science projects. I mean, I took this from a teacher, a literature teacher, that the kids had to read a book. And she wasn't reading book reports. She said she'd rather sat in the back and listen and let them have a good time and entertain each other. I'm like, hey, I'm stealing that. That is great. That is great. Okay, hanger projects. I don't have any examples of these today, but like the 3 branches of government here, you have the 3 branches and they can hang things and they'll be in your room. You can take this with anything, science class, steps and processes and all of that stuff. You can do this with a biography of a person. You can do this with the different types of laws, because your students did different types of laws, criminal law, civil law, and then they hang the examples. I mean, these right here are hands-on things that the kids, they're going to get the information. They're going to look up the information. They're going to pay attention because they want to do this. They're going to give you enough respect. Okay, come on, tell me what I need to do. Tell me what to do because I want to do that. You get what I'm saying? So you don't have to talk that long. You know why you don't have to talk that long? Because you won't have to say, pay attention. Because they're going to pay attention. Because once you show them this, what do I need to do to get to that? Okay. DiscoveryEducation.com on the back. I've given you all kind of websites. I gave this one to Ms. Purdue already. Actually, I just found out last week CMS actually bought this. So now you can get your own password. I put,
Yeah, because I was getting one for math, but I
you
didn't
can
know
use for
how-
everything.
Yeah, but I didn't know how to get,
Yeah, I've given you the steps on there,
Okay.
how to set up your own, the last page of the packet.
Okay, so we can hear that,
Mhm.
okay.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, 'cause it is for math stuff.
you can use it for everything. Let's see here, Australia. They have full videos on here. A lot of them have the related materials here. They have the lesson plan already for you. Some of them already have black line masters, the worksheets. Like, now, let's say you don't have time to show them 50 minutes. They're not gonna last watching the movie for 50 minutes. If you see here, they have broken it down in segments. Let's say you just wanna talk to them about food. You wanna tell them about the food in Australia. 4 minutes and 53 seconds. They can handle that. I don't know what this is about. I think I defined it. And the video just pops up. And then you just watch it about, you can look at everything. You can use this site for science, math, all that. English, yeah. You did something on fables, right?
I did fables, I pulled up fables and how to watch fables and, figure out what lesson was being taught through the fable.
Oh, and this is what you use.
I mean, it has so many videos. I really can't express how great this is. Like, math, I know you were teaching math skills and things like that. Maps and globes. You can just put anything in here. Let's say you want something that has like a worksheet to it. You want them to, you go down, scroll down to the side where it says buy materials, Black Line Masters. Those are going to be all the videos that have a worksheet already made. So here we go, different types of maps. You want them to know different types of maps? Here we go, different types of maps. So you can look through this, have a lot of fun with it. I mean, seriously, it has everything using maps and globes. It's teaching kids the difference between latitude and longitude. That can be a little difficult sometimes. And a lot of these do have Black Line Masters, and you know you'll be able to pick them out. Like if you hover over it, it'll say Black Line Masters right on the side. And you can just click on it and you can see what it is. Like this one is like, they can, as they're watching the video, they can answer the questions. You can pause. I let students tell me if I need to rewind. You can play it straight from here, or you can download it. Because if the internet is ever down one day, you're gonna have a problem because you're not gonna be able to play it. But you can always download any videos you want to your flash drive, to your hard drive, and you can have it. Because I can go anywhere. Once I download it, I can go, to a conference somewhere and have the video with me all the time. Because you can just download it and you can save it. If we ever should lose our rights to this, please download all the videos you can before they get rid of it, okay? All right, brainpop.com. I've given you the password and username for this one. BrainPop is great. The videos here are only like 4 minutes long, but they're powerful. Okay, if you look at the topics here, science, social studies, English, I done hooked you up today. Okay, like let's go to social studies. You can see all the topics. You can go to, let's go to geography. That's more a lot of y'all's area here, geography. You want to teach about latitude and longitude? Bam, here you go.
More of those energy bars?
Some of them are little corny videos, but they're okay. because they have activities that you can do, print them out, the quiz that they can answer together as a class. And then they say, oh, it's so-and-so. Nope, try again. I mean, when you have a smart board, this is great because this is smart, BrainPop is smart board compatible. And the last one is Soul Pass. Man, you get blown away with Soul Pass. The kids, you can get your kids logged on to Soul Pass. Elementary school level, middle school level, high school level. Let's go middle school level. You have your choices here. When did they add science? Y'all about to get looked up today. Civics and economics, U.S. history, all that kind of stuff. Elementary, social studies, Virginia, because this comes from Virginia, this site. I mean, all kind of games. You can, with these laptops, just set them all up, bam, they can practice. Soul Pass is great. It has all kind of activities on there that the kids can be interactive, practicing what you taught them.
Oh.
Yeah, like geography pop-ups and U.S. geography jumble words. They can have a good time with using Soul Pass.
Virginia also has online Moodles that you can access.
Oh, really?
I was on that the other day.
Some people's Moodles are locked, and you can't get in them. I don't know what that's about. What is this going on? Okay. I won't have time to go over games and stuff, but maybe another day.
Thank you.
Thank you so
That was
much.
great.
You're welcome. And like I said, let me know if any of these things you want to do. You have a lesson that's coming up, a unit that's coming up. Okay, I want some ideas. I need to liven this thing up. Let me know. I can start trying to get some activities together, try to pull the resources, and put these little pieces, this little stuff like this will aggravate you. And that's what I'm here for. That's what they do pay me to come here in the afternoon. So sometimes I'm like, can I help you? Be like, nah. I'm like, all right. So, I mean, let's see if let's get their money's worth.
She does help you a lot.
Yeah.
I had her coming because I was so unsure. It's the first time I ever taught ninth grade. So I didn't know much about it. I asked her to look over my lesson plans. She looked over my lesson plans. She said, let me give you some warm-up activities. The little things that she gave me to do with them, it was just great. Okay. So.
I don't know much about other subjects. But I do know social studies. This is my 13th year. I love teaching social studies. And one day in life, I hope this will be my job to help other teachers and stuff with social studies. But I really love teaching this, and I want to make social studies exciting. All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And thank you for lunch.
Oh, no
Yes,
problem.
thank
Thank you for coming. This is actually, I need to do this for here, but I also need it for my class. So.
You
Great.
are you going to send us a copy of the PowerPoint?
Yes, ma'am, I will. Actually, if you don't mind,